The Last Tenant. So boom. The movie opens with our boy Marcus standing in the hallway of his apartment building. And bruh look terrified. I'm talking about my dog ain't moving, ain't blinking, barely breathing. And at first you don't even know what he looking at. Until the camera turns around. For A, for B, for C, for D, another for C, another for C, another for C. Matter fact, the whole damn hallway is nothing but doors marked for C. And this hallway long as hell now. Like, way longer than the building itself. Marcus just standing there looking like, yeah, I done fucked up. But hold on, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me tell y'all how my dog even got here. 4 days earlier. So Marcus just moved into this old apartment building. And I'm not even gonna cap. The spot ain't bad. Little outdated. Elevator sound like it survived 3 wars. Hallway got that old yellow lighting. Carpet look like somebody grandma picked it out in 1987. But the apartment itself? Pressure. Big living room. Nice bedroom. Decent neighborhood. And most importantly, that rent cheap. Suspiciously cheap. And Marcus know it too. But my dog ain't asking no questions. Because you know how it is when you find somewhere decent and the rent ain't beating your ass. You sign them papers before they change their mind. So the landlord gives Marcus the keys. Older dude. Quiet. Real serious. And right before he leaves he tells Marcus, "One more thing." Marcus turns around. The landlord says, "If you hear anything coming from apartment 4C, don't knock on the door." Marcus kinda laughs. He thinks the old man joking. But the landlord ain't laughing. So Marcus says, "Okay." Landlord looks him dead in his eyes. "I mean it." Then this man walks off. Now me? I'm stopping right there. Because what the hell you mean? Don't knock on 4C? Matter fact, why you gotta tell me that at all? But Marcus? This jit grabs his boxes and goes right inside. And this is where you gotta pay attention. Because when Marcus walks down that hallway, the doors go for A, for B, then for D. There is no for C. Remember that. The first night. First night ain't really nothing crazy. Marcus unpacking, eating, watching TV. Regular shit. Then around 2 in the morning, he hears something. A woman crying. Real faint, like it's coming through the wall. Marcus turns the TV down. There it is again. Crying. He puts his ear against the wall. And now he can hear her clearly. Some woman is on the other side, crying her eyes out. Marcus knocks on the wall. The crying stops. Immediately. Now see, that's enough for me. I'm going back to bed. Whatever emotional situation happening on the other side of that drywall ain't got shit to do with me. But Marcus keeps listening. Nothing. Eventually he goes to sleep. Next morning he catches the landlord downstairs. Marcus asks who lives next door. Landlord says, "Nobody." Marcus tells him about the woman crying. And soon as Marcus says that, the landlord's whole face changes. He asks Marcus one question. "Did you open the door?" Marcus looks confused. "What door?" The landlord just stares at him. Then says, "Good," and walks away. Bruh. What? At this point I'm breaking the lease. Keep the security deposit. Matter fact, keep the microwave too. I'm gone. The second night. But Marcus stays. Because apparently my dog need more evidence that this building ain't right. Second night. Same time. Around 2 in the morning. Except tonight, the woman ain't crying. She arguing. Marcus can hear her through the wall. But there's somebody else in there with her. A man. Marcus can't really make out what they're saying. Then suddenly, bam! Something hits the wall. Marcus jumps. The woman screams. Then everything goes quiet. Marcus gets up. Walks into the hallway. Looks around. For A. For B. For D. Still no for C. He stands there for a second, then goes back inside. But when Marcus closes his door, we see something he doesn't. At the far end of the hallway, a door slowly appears out of the darkness. And on that door is a little brass sign. For C. Yeah. We officially in some bullshit now. The third night. Next day, Marcus starts asking neighbors questions. And everybody gets weird. One lady tells him she's lived there 12 years, and there's never been a 4C. Another dude tells him, "Don't talk about that apartment." Marcus asks why. Dude closes the door in his face. Now peep game. Marcus goes downstairs and checks the building directory. 4th floor. For A. For B. For D. For E. No 4C. He even pulls up the building layout online. Same thing. There literally isn't enough space between 4B and 4D for another apartment. So now Marcus knows he ain't tripping. But that night, around 2, the screaming starts. And this time is bad. Furniture crashing. Somebody begging for help. Then Marcus hears a little kid screaming, "Please!" Marcus jumps out the bed, runs into the hallway, and freezes, because right between 4B and 4D, there it is, apartment 4C. My dog just standing there staring at it. Now remember, the landlord specifically told this man, "Whatever you hear, do not knock on that door." So naturally, Marcus walks right up to the damn door. Because horror movie characters don't listen to shit. He puts his ear against it. Nothing. Then, knock, knock, knock. From the other side. Marcus backs up. And then somebody whispers, "Marcus, oh hell nah. See, once the haunted apartment know my government name, we done. I'm relocating to another state." But Marcus reaches for the knob, turns it, and opens the door. Apartment 4C. And this is where the movie gets wild. Marcus walks inside, and he's standing in his own apartment. Same couch, same TV, same pictures, same boxes he hasn't finished unpacking. Everything, except this version looks old, dirty, like nobody cleaned it in years. Marcus slowly walks through the living room. Then he sees somebody sitting on the couch. A man, head down, clothes torn, face bruised. Marcus gets closer. The man looks up. And bruh, is Marcus. Another Marcus. Same face, same everything. Except this Marcus looks like he's been trapped in there for months. Our Marcus can't even speak. The other Marcus looks at him and says, "You opened it too? Now all that funny shit? Done." Because other Marcus starts explaining. He moved into the same apartment, met the same landlord, got the same warning. He heard the same woman, same argument, same screaming. And eventually, he opened 4C. Marcus asks, "How long have you been in here?" Other Marcus says, "I don't know." Then he shows him the windows. Marcus looks outside, but there ain't no city, no parking lot, nothing, just another hallway, stretching forever, full of doors. For C, for C, for C, for C, hundreds of them. And behind some of those doors, Marcus can hear people, crying, talking, screaming. Other Marcus tells him, every door leads to another version of the apartment. And every apartment has another Marcus. Some just arrived. Some been there for years. And some ain't Marcus anymore. Marcus says, "What does that mean?" Other Marcus looks toward the bedroom and says, "You'll see, bruh. I don't want to see." The thing in the bedroom. Suddenly, something moves inside the bedroom. Slow footsteps. Other Marcus immediately gets scared. He tells Marcus, "Don't let it see you." Now my dog, you could have mentioned that before we walked in here. They hide behind the kitchen counter. Bedroom door slowly opens, and something walks out. At first, it looks like Marcus, but something ain't right. Arms too long, smile too wide, walking like it's still learning how legs work. And this thing starts checking the apartment, looking for them. Other Marcus whispers, "They're what happens when you've been here too long." Basically, The building keeps making copies. But eventually, the copies start coming out wrong. Now the creature stops, tilts its head, and looks directly toward the kitchen. Yeah. Time to go. Marcus takes off running. Creature comes behind him. Other Marcus starts yelling for him to find his original door. Marcus runs through 4C, into another 4C, into another 4C. Every door is another version of his apartment. One is burned, one flooded, one completely empty, one has blood all over the walls, and in one, there's an old man sitting at the kitchen table. Marcus stops, because the old man is him. Old Marcus looks up and says, "You still running?" Marcus don't even answer. "My dog gone." The original tenant. Eventually Marcus reaches an apartment that's different. Everything looks like it's from decades ago. Old furniture, old television, old wallpaper, and sitting at the kitchen table is somebody Marcus recognizes. The landlord, except he's younger. Way younger. Marcus realizes the landlord wasn't always the landlord. He was a tenant. The first tenant. Back when the building opened, he heard somebody crying from an apartment that didn't exist. And just like Marcus, he opened the door. But he escaped. Or at least, he thought he did, because 4C followed him. Every few years, the building chooses somebody new. And the landlord's been trying to stop people from opening the door ever since. Marcus asks, "Then why rent me the apartment?" And younger landlord just looks at him. Because that's the catch. The building won't let him leave unless somebody replaces him. "Oh, you dirty motherfucker. This man ain't been warning tenants. He's been waiting on one." The escape. Marcus finally realizes something. Every version of 4C exists because somebody opened the door. So maybe the way out isn't finding the right door. It's refusing to open another one. He walks into the hallway. Doors everywhere. Behind every door, somebody calling his name. His mother, his friends, a little kid, even himself. "Marcus, help me." But Marcus keeps walking. Doesn't touch anything. Then he sees one final door. No number, just his apartment key hanging from the knob. Marcus reaches for it, then stops. Not falling for that shit again. Instead, he turns around and walks back toward the darkness. Suddenly everything starts shaking. Doors slamming. Lights exploding. All those voices start screaming his name. But Marcus keeps walking. Then, everything goes black. The ending. Marcus wakes up in his apartment. Morning. Sunlight coming through the window. Everything normal. He runs into the hallway. For A. For B. For D. No 4C. My dog damn near starts crying. He grabs his stuff. Doesn't pack nothing. Just throwing shit in bags. He's out. Marcus runs downstairs. But the landlord ain't at the desk. Instead, there's a new guy sitting there. Marcus asks, "Where's the landlord?" The guy looks confused. Says, "I've been the landlord here for 15 years. Marcus pulls out his phone. Looks up the old landlord. And finds an obituary. Dude died 37 years ago. Marcus just stares at the screen. Then says, "Nope," and walks straight out the building. And I'm thinking, okay, my dog made it. Movie over. Not. Because later that night, Marcus checks into a hotel. Gets his room key. Walks upstairs. Finds his room. Puts the key in the door. Then stops. Because directly across the hallway, there's another door. Marcus slowly turns around. Little brass numbers. For C. Then, knock, knock, knock. Marcus just closes his eyes. Cut to black. And that is the last tenant. And I'm telling y'all right now, if my landlord ever tells me there's an apartment that doesn't exist, you ain't gotta worry about me investigating nothing. I'm moving before the sun go down. Because rent might be high, but you know what's higher? My desire to stay the hell alive.